Fantastic things planned for you. And okay, speaking of admiring people from afar, you James Beard Award winner, you Roger. You saved some food for me.
Yes, we
Legal
did.
Seafoods, over 60 years, family-owned company. Yes. You're still revered in the business. You do things that nobody else does.
I'm not obsolete yet, I guess if that's what you mean.
He took time, he took off the crown and, time long enough off the throne of worship to come here. You know how much we love your product, Roger.
Well,
we really do,
of
course. James Beard Award winner, family-owned business, started, of course, by your father, and then that family legacy and tradition continues.
Yes.
You're doing something fabulous for us because we love gourmet, but we don't want to have to work for it over the holidays.
We don't want to work for it, so we took probably the most popular of all fish, salmon right now, and we started playing around with it, and we did a garlic and spinach salmon, and then we introduced on HSN about a year ago. It was very popular, really popular on auto ship, and we said, how can we continue that?
Right.
And so we came up with a pesto salmon.
You upped the ante.
And a wild rice salmon, and I have to tell you, these are restaurant chefs that came up with it, and it's perfectly sized for one person. And we did something else. We've been working on this for a long time. We came up with something called Nitro Fresh.
Nitro Fresh.
Exactly.
Now, how is that different?
So what we do is it's a special way of freezing it. It's a proprietary way of freezing it, but we use nitrogen.
Oh.
And what it does is it freezes it extraordinarily fast, and it creates a battery to it. It's sort of a buffer around it so that it doesn't dehydrate, it maintains its juices, and it melts in your mouth. You can't, if you were going to do a comparison, you would know what was fresh and what was frozen.
Wow.
This is so good.
It is. Hey, by the way, if you have, Roger, I'm just going to show them the choices real quickly,
Please.
and then I'm going to dig in. By the way, auto ship is available. We're doing that 6 flex pay promotion. That's if you do your single ship. And then, of course, we have our auto ship as well. So you're looking at 8 packs. So we have 8 of the salmon with the pesto. We love that in those 6-ounce portions. We also have 8 of the salmon with, be still my heart, garlic, cheese, spinach.
Still #1 seller.
Still #1. It's like he had me at hello. And then we also have, I'm from Minnesota, so I love wild rice. I really do. Then we also have your 8 individual portions with the wild rice. These are all in the hundreds remaining. I have to say, you're a man after my own heart. Any guy who's going to feed me, you're okay in my book, Roger.
Thank
all right,
you.
Here we go.
Thank you.
All right, so, because I like to cook, so I'm throwing the gauntlet down. Bam!
It's one thing. What makes a restaurant special? Whatever. Well, certainly it's the ingredients of it, but we're really in the fish business. What we do is we source the best possible product out there. We treat it. You could go to a fish market. You could buy the fish. You could try to assemble the ingredients for this. It's not going to be the same. All right, it would cost you a fortune to do it. Then we take it individually, freeze it, just like this. Okay,
so when it comes, they're individual portions.
Individual portion, you put it in your freezer, it can last a long time. If it does, then you really don't like fish. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, by the way, because many of you know I do, I cook, you're right. If I didn't know better, I would swear you went to your fishmonger, you went to your fish market. And here's what really surprises me, Roger. Because I've had, the frozen, It is so moist and so, is that freezing process?
That's that freezing process we call Nitro Fresh.
Wow.
It's a barrier that it keeps the moisture in and prevents it from being dehydrated. So if you happen to like, let me say something, if you happen to like pesto, which I think a lot of people do, I would put this on pasta, just like this. It mixes in beautifully with the pasta. It's nice and moist. Now, it also comes, as we say, individually packaged, just like this. You put it in your freezer. It lasts a long time. Again, you're not going to want it to last a long time. That's why so many people put this on auto ship.
Oh, absolutely.
But it comes out just like this. Now, you take it from the freezer, you preheat the oven to 375, you put it in there for 12 to 14 minutes, it is done.
Oh, is that it?
And you've got the air fryers on. Look at this.
It was meant to be. It's like love and marriage.
Take a look at this right here. This is from the freezer, 10 minutes in the air fryer. Nice and moist.
Anybody watching this show is like, wait a minute, 10 minutes to gourmet and nobody, hey, if you want to make brownie points with the mother-in-law, she'll never know. She'll never know.
That is true.
It's true.
That is true.
See,
this
your
is
secret
restaurant
is
quality.
safe with us.
You
okay.
could spend a fortune if you don't live near one of our restaurants trying to get there, seeing what it is on the menu. Or, you know, one of the things today is that people don't want waste. And so if you go to the fish market and you buy the ingredients, guess what? If you make too much, it goes back in the refrigerator. Then what happens? If you don't eat it right away, you throw it away.
You do.
With this, you don't.
You don't. By the way, I have to say, I don't know how you did this price. I mean, seriously, because right? Look at the face he's making. I'm like, oh, yeah, well, I don't know how we did this price.
I have to deal with the accountants when I get back.
No, I do not doubt that. Because if you figure 8 individual portions, okay, 8 individual precise precision cut portions, on top of that, the gourmet seasonings, all the heavy lifting, all the hard work is already done. This is like magic to me. I don't even know quite how. I have to say,
you
it's
couldn't do this.
unexpected.
You couldn't do this on your own for this kind of money. It's just impossible.
You couldn't. I mean, honestly. But look at Roger. I don't know, guys. Can we see with the jib? Oh, you read my mind. Look at you. You're a man after my own heart.
My hands are clean.
You know, you can see how moist, you can see how flaky, you can see how delectable this is, even before you dig into it.
There's nothing like this on the market.
I can't
This is
myself.
Restaurant quality.
I gotta try, I know I mentioned, I gotta try the wild rice, is that okay?
Go, please.
All right.
You're from Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
Not bad, huh?
Oh, that's really good.
Taking a look at the fish here, nice and moist. You know, you don't overcook it. You just put it in there, 12 to 14 minutes in the oven, 10 minutes in the air fryer.
That's
it's just so
insane.
easy. It comes just like this. You can control the portions. If you're by yourself, it's fine. Throw it on a piece of pasta. Have it on some asparagus. Have it on a salad. We even put it on a sandwich roll. Just
That's
like
a good idea. I like that.
And salmon has the omega-3s. It's good for you,
true.
and it tastes so good. And this actually makes it taste a little better.
It does. You know, I just got done doing our Andrew Lessman broadcast in Las Vegas, and this would be Andrew Lessman approved, I'm sure.
Okay. Well,
and when you say no waste, no haste, now not only do you have dinner literally in minutes, when I say the mother-in-law never knows, you want to impress somebody, I'll tell you what, you do this tonight, basically 8 individual portions, and you have to kind of wrap your brain about how much you would spend just if you were going to your fishmonger, if you were going to your fish market, seafood counter. I mean, you'd be spending, for these portion sizes, a lot more than $79. And I think, Roger, do you find, because you and your family have been doing this for decades, there's kind of a fear factor when it comes to fish. Would you agree?
Well, yes. You don't know where you're getting your sources from. We're in the fish business, and we have a plant. We have a federally inspected plant, so we have to be on top of exactly where the waters are, exactly how it's handled. You know, we have a laboratory there. We test everything.
Do you really?
Yes, we are fanatics about
now
quality.
I'm impressed.
And our name is on it. So if our name wasn't on it, all right, that's one thing. But our name's on it, and we have the restaurants to protect. That's why we have to make sure this is above standard, anything you're going to find
It
out
is.
there.
By the way, everything is in the hundreds remaining. This is Roger's last series of shows before the new year. So I have not had the privilege of going to one of your world-class restaurants. So if somebody has, and they get this tonight, this is going to live up to expectations.
I would hope so. I'm putting my reputation on it.
Yeah, I mean, you really are.
Yes.
I think that's a big deal, because I do work with a lot of chefs here at HSN, and they often say somewhat tongue-in-cheek, you're only as good as your last meal.
No, that's not tongue-in-cheek. That is actually a truism in the restaurant business. You are only as good as your last meal.
You are only as good as
and
you
if you
meal.
can't make it to the restaurant, because we're really on the East Coast, if you really can't make it to the restaurants, we're down from Boston down to the Washington, D.C. area, we will get it to you, and it will get to you in this kind of a state over here. You put it right in your freezer, and you take it out at your convenience. So we say, the other thing is, when people freeze fish, it's usually at the end of its lifespan. We freeze it at its very peak, and it's done with nitrogen. It's more expensive that way, but when you cook it and you compare it to what you might have experienced in a restaurant, you won't know the difference.
No, I mean, you really won't. I'll just tell you, because I was, not that I would ever doubt you, I was skeptical until I tried it. I think you're going to be impressed. Roger, I'm going to come and find you.
Well, please do.
I am. I'm going to make a pilgrimage.
Good, Shannon. I'll keep my eye out.
You've been forewarned. But you know what? I bet I'm going to send this to my parents, because try to get salmon in, Herman, Minnesota.